I thought today we would talk about adversity because I've noticed some people just shy away from hard things. And I have a tendency to go all in on hard things and sometimes to a fault. And so my wife reminded me of that. She's like, not everything has to be difficult. Not everything, has to be a struggle or has to be a challenge. And I'm like, that's a good point. Then I get a little bit of relief, like, you know what? She's right. I don't need to make everything so difficult sometimes or take on the world. But it is an important thing for your growth as a person, as an entrepreneur, as someone in living life in general. You need to grow, and adversity is part of that. So we wanted to have an episode on adversity itself. And to kick us off, Shannon, I'm coming to you.
All right.
Should you rob yourself of the opportunity to grow through adversity, or should you face it with a smile? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think you should face it. I'm not sure with a smile. Usually it's crying and screaming the whole way, but you should definitely face it. If you run from it, you're never moving forward. You're never growing.
Yeah. It is just part of life, isn't it?
It is.
So do you have any examples in your life where you had to face adversity, and share with us some, peel back some layers?
All right, so I'll tell you my sad story.
Yeah.
No, it's not a sad story, but I'll tell you probably about the one incident that profoundly, I think, changed me. And it's probably not even that big of an incident, but it really changed me. I think for everybody, rejection is hard. Nobody likes rejection. And I think I've always been, not that I'm delightful, but I've typically been a person that wherever I work, I get along with my coworkers, I make friends with them. We have personal relationships. I definitely enjoy people and being around people. And, every now and again, you'll have that customer that you didn't resonate with or whatever. And that's okay. For the most part, I get along with people. I had an incident at a workplace where I found that it was very toxic. And I realized that, when I left the room, I could hear them, women are ugly. I mean, let's just be honest. Women can be very mean at times, which is not.
I'm off the hook, man.
Women are
my only
very
thing
mean.
has been with men being like that. I think anyone can.
Yeah.
People can just be mean sometimes.
But I'm off the hook on this episode, this part, right?
Ben and Paul just looking up at the ceiling.
We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm totally not talking about you this time.
I was holding my breath there for a minute. Yeah.
No, I would never talk about anybody negatively in this room, obviously. But you could hear, mocking you when you walk out of the room, things like that, and that really works on a person. I think that works on not just your mind, but your soul. I think it really starts breaking you down when you realize I'm just not good enough. It's hard sometimes to step back and be logical and to say, it's not me. People that behave that way, it's within them. And it truly is. But when people are I think, challenging the very person that you are, your personality, the way you look, the way you talk, the way you work, everything about you is wrong. You kind of start shrinking. You kind of start becoming smaller and you kind of start feeling bad about yourself. And that was a real breaking point for me of just feeling overwhelmed with, I'm not good enough and starting to feel broken. Like I'm not doing a good job. Maybe I am stupid. Maybe I am ugly. Maybe I am, and I got to the point, and I know that I had spoken to you gentlemen about it with, I think I'm just not meant here. And I think I need to leave. I need to do something else. That was really a breaking point for me, feeling like maybe I'm not good at what I do in real estate. Maybe people isn't my thing. Maybe, just really very doubtful. And that was something that really piled on me very heavily. And I think that once I made the decision that, I'm not going to be treated like this anymore, that I really don't deserve this, and that this is not about me, and I moved on from that, it was amazing how doors opened up to people who saw the value in me like they always had in the past and reminded me that I'm not the person that just these individuals said. I think that sometimes that adversity, when you do it, it could make you run into a hole, and really they could win. They could win, and they could make you leave a job that you love, or doubt who you are as a person. Or if you can stand up for yourself, if you can find the way to stand up for yourself, I think that once you move on and you realize that this toxic element is removed and the rest of the world does not see me this way, the rest of the world does not have these problems with me. I think that sometimes, I've become a better person on the other side of it, because now I can look back and I can say, how sad for them, how sad for women who could not stand up for another girl who was broken and feeling really bad about herself. And how, I don't want to be that woman. I don't want to be the woman that in the workplace mocks other women. I want to be one that, we may not get along and I may not say anything at all to you, but I will never be ugly and vicious. I think I've become a better person on the other side of it in standing up for myself, in standing up for others, in even just knowing where my value is, even just knowing what I'm willing to put up with.
Wow.
I will never in my life allow myself to be run into the ground by somebody else.